Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S.Chandhok talk show. I'm very happy today because we have very eminent guests from all over the world and who on our request have come over here to discuss about a very important topic that is about mathematics learning with Edtech 2.0. Without taking any time, I'll introduce you to the very special eminent guest. The first guest is Dr. Thakur Mulchandani, sir. He's a director and principal of Sunrise English School, Abu Dhabi, UAE. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for coming, sir. Sir, we would like to know about you. Did you came into the education field by chance or by choice, and how did you rose from a teacher to administrator and from India to Abu Dhabi? Over to you, sir.
Good evening to everyone. It's nice to be a part of this great program. I started my teaching journey from 1992. I wanted to be a teacher in grade 3 itself, and I was in standard 3 because I love teaching. And to tell you all very frankly and precisely, my teachers had always challenged me that you cannot be a teacher. Not because I was a slow learner or because I did not study. I was a ranker. There were certain reasons which I cannot divulge here, but my teachers always challenged me, you cannot be a teacher. I said, I will show these people and I will be a teacher one fine morning. So I completed my BCom from the Mitibai College, Mumbai. Then I went to pursue my B.Ed in English and Maths. I did my MA Maths because Maths was my cream of teaching. Then went up to do my MBA from IIM Delhi, MEd, and then PhD also from Punjab University. I have been associated with Ryan Group for 17 years, then switched to Rahul Group because of certain reasons. Have been teaching maths only for grade 10 students, associated with Maharashtra State Board as an examiner for mathematics from 1996 to 2005, as a moderator from 2006 to 2012, again for the subject geometry. And I was a chief moderator the year I left Mumbai to fly to Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi was not on my dream list. It was just an interview call on 31st December 2012, which turned out to be my lucky call or my, you can say, charm of luck. And that's how I headed to Abu Dhabi. And Abu Dhabi Sunrise School has been a wonderful experience for me, for my teachers, for my staff and students. And it's been a glorious journey with a lot of accolades and awards. Thanks to Almighty for, giving me the honor and privilege to be part of one of the best and sought after schools in Abu Dhabi, that is Sunrise English Private Schools. And my journey has been very fantastic. As I said, thanks to Almighty, thanks to my parents, thanks to my wife and children who always have been a source of motivation and inspiration. Although at times we, don't get time to pay attention to our families. That's common in UAE, where we have a lot of workload, a lot of pressure as principals, as directors. And we have, a very supportive and helpful education council, the Department of Education and Knowledge, which guides us, trains us, and coaches us and mentors us in various directions and in all the aspects of education. So my journey has been fantastic, and it has been a dream come true for me to be a teacher. Although Sindhi's rarely be in teaching line, my father never wanted me to be a teacher, but I told him I want to be a teacher because of this reason, and here I am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's amazing, sir. Sir, in which year you came to Abu Dhabi?
I came in 2013, sir, 9 years ago.
Oh, that's great, sir. Plenty a long time. That's great, sir.
2013.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for coming, sir. Next, we have Dr. Seema Nair, ma'am. She is the principal of DPS Ghana. Welcome, ma'am. The same question to you, ma'am, because people should understand even not only the teachers want to become principals, and when they become principals, they also have a name that I should also go to the foreign countries, abroad countries, and I should become the principal. So they should know it's a very hard work and it's a long journey which you take to reach over there. Please, ma'am, let us know about yourself.
Thank you, sir, for introducing me. I'm Dr. Seema Nair, and this is my first time on this show, and I'm privileged to be a part of this show. Well, the question that you are posing to me is tell you all about my journey. Well, I also started my teaching profession, or you can say career, in 1996, to be precise. And I first started as a primary English teacher. I've done my B.Ed in English and Maths, and I thought that, maths being a popular subject, I should be doing maths as well when I'm getting an opportunity to do maths, because I was a commerce student. I'm a commerce student from KJ Somaya, Mumbai. But unfortunately, I found that, over the years, in 1 or 2 years, I found that, I'm not much inclined towards teaching maths as such. I'm good in literature. So, and then my superiors, as far as my principal is concerned, my HODs are concerned, they understood that, she has a better inclination towards literature. So that's how I developed myself as a social science and a literature teacher. For a span of 7 years in Nagpur first, because that's where I went after marriage. I did my B.Ed and got married, and I settled there for almost 7 years, after which I got an opportunity to work for the Ministry of Education at Muscat. So as an English teacher, as a teacher of English. So I went there. I was there for almost 1.5 years or so. My daughter was quite small. She was just 3 years old. She was not able to cope up the absence, so I just came back. It was a lucrative opportunity, because in those days, in fact, now the Ministry of Education of Muscat, they have Oman, they have closed it. Just in another 5 years time down the line, they had closed that kind of an opportunity, because they were highly paid. However, I came back to India, and then I settled in Mumbai, which is my birthplace as well. And I worked in All Saints, just the neighborhood school of Dr. Pramod Mahajan, from where Pramod Mahajan sir is. And I had the privilege of meeting Pramod Mahajan as a newcomer at All Saints. I don't know whether Mahajan sir recollects that incident, because I was just a newcomer at All Saints High School, and I was appointed there as the headmistress. And I got a chance to talk to Pramod sir on different topics related to academics and the CBSE and pattern and things like that. And sir was dynamic then also, and even now he's the same. I am seeing him right now after so many years. So I'm privileged to see you, sir, once again. The world is so small, we get associated. It's a pleasure meeting you again. And well, after I joined All Saints High School, which is at Bhiwandi, Thane, I was promoted to the post of the principal there in a span of 1 year. And I continued for almost 18 long years in the same school. After which, because I donned so many roles, the CBSE head examiner for English, the conductor for examinations, conducting all the examinations, being a member on the inspection committee, and different aspects. Also, I was a CBSE mentor and coach for different topics, the CBSE trainings that go on, So with all that, somewhere I felt that, I'm getting stagnated. What am I going to do next? What is my journey in the next 5 years? I just couldn't find anything stimulating enough. So I felt that I should branch out, because I'd already set up a system there. So I knew that, we say the institution is about the people. So I'd already set up an institution with the best of systems in place and things like that. So I knew they would move on, even if I'm not there. I was very confident. And that's how I branched out to DPSI Ghana with an IGCSE curriculum. And we are soon moving into an IB school in August. I'm working on my verification visits, actually. We are in the last lap of our verification visit, which is on May 26th. So that's how it is. That's my journey so far. And I'm happy to be a part of the show.
Welcome, ma'am, and all the best for the affiliation you are going to get for sure. You have a wonderful experience in India as well as abroad also. Thank you for sparing your time and coming up to the show. Next, we have Dr. Pramod Mahajan, sir. Although he doesn't need any introduction, everybody in the world knows about him or knows him. मतलब नाम तो सुना ही होगा. It's just like that. Amitabh Bachchan dialogue. मेरा नाम प्रमोद महाजन है, नाम तो सुनना ही होगा. It's like that only. He is a director and principal of Sharjah India School, Sharjah UAE. Although he is there, लेकिन फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी. He is always found in the, in all the places. जहाँ भी जाइएगा हमें पाइएगा. Thank you so much, sir. After your so much of busy schedule, you have you never say no. I have never seen that you say no to anyone. You are always everywhere for the education purpose. You are everywhere. Whatever matter the topic is, whichever the topic is, sir always says, look, I am there. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, please, although everybody knows about you, but still the people who will be looking into this episode, they should know more about you, sir. You're from your starting as a teacher and coming up to Sharjah. Please.
So, myself, Dr. Pramod Mahajan, teacher by nature, and the teaching is in the blood. Like my parents are retired principals, my grandparents are retired principal, my brother is also a principal, so daughter is also a teacher. So like that, started my journey, completed my education in a very small village in the vernacular language. Then, after becoming a district topper, they put me somewhere in a district top school, and then the journey goes on. Completed my BSc, MSc in physics. Then got selected for assistant station master in railways, but that was not my test. Then after that, tried for Bhava Atomic Research Center. There also I was selected, but again the thing is key. Who will do all those things, research and this and that? That was not my test. Then switch over to then did my B.Ed and then got selected in Army School Mahu, military headquarters of war via Army Education Corps. Completed my 4 years of tenure there, and then selected for Navodaya KVS. The journey begins. Then completed my MBA training and development from USA, from Harvard, IIM, whatever all that thing we have done. MA in education, and associated with so many boards, ICSC, CBSC, IB, O level, A level. I was the one who started in Kalyan in the reverse order. We started first A level, then we shifted to O level, then we shifted to lower grade, and the Cambridge was also surprised, and it was a successful experiment. So we did that way also. Uh, After doing all those things with some CBSE assignment, came to the Sharjah, and that assignment forcefully, engaged me with that school for 1 week, and they said, no, this is the right choice for this school to make the school techno savvy, to take the school in a next level. And with the grace of God, everything is working properly. The school is one of the, we can say, the best school as far as the parents are concerned. The first choice of the parents. Whoever thinks about the admission first thinks about Sharjah Indian School. In spite of that, our strength reached to 16,000. Still, we are admitting. We have made one small campus, another branch school of 5,600. But still, admissions are going on. Today, I have finalized 187 admissions again, crossing all the rules and regulation, because there is no choice left. The consul general and the ambassador, no, this has to be admitted and that has to be admitted. So going on. After doing all those things, I was thinking myself, like I'm the topper of mathematical physics. In mathematics, I know very well. But during this vacation, when I visited to my daughter's place, I was teaching mathematics to my granddaughter. She is going to first standard, teaching them the number system. When I taught her 11, 1 and 1, then 12, 1 and 2, she started laughing. Why Nanu 1 and 2, 12? Why not 2 and 1? Till the date I didn't get the answer of that. That forced me, what is our route is, where we are. So again came on the ground and start finding out something new. What is that number system is and how to deal with that. So that is a small journey. And saying no to anyone and everyone. Why? Because every program we learn something. We learn something every moment. And I treat myself as a lifelong learner. And if we keep on learning, the another thing of your the success criteria of your age and all, keep on learning. So you will never be aged. If we stop learning, then the problem will come. So that is the mystery. Thank you.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Sir, which year you came to Sharjah,
sir? 6 years before.
That's great. So that's also a good time, sir. Staying away from Indians over there.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Next, we have a very pleasing personality, Captain Dr. Tanisha Bharadwaj, ma'am. She is the principal of Global Indian International School, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ma'am, when you came last time, so you were on a vacation and you took us to an island. We were very happy when you took us to an island, ma'am. but right now you are in Malaysia only. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, please tell us about yourself, your journey as an educationist.
Thank you so much, sir. A very good evening once again to everyone. Last time I took you to Ireland. Today I am going to take you to a journey of Indian Army. I am an Army officer. When I was studying, I was doing my post graduation. I was selected for Army, and then I completed the final year examinations. So, not that I wanted to come to Army, because when I joined Indian Army, then only started taking lady officers. So I was interested in uniform, but for police. But I saw this and I'm there. I served in Indian Army for good 10 years, but it was short service commission. So destiny takes you where it is. How it's also a journey where Army school called me, and I said, no, I'm not going to work because as education officer, as Mr. Mahajan knows, he worked in Army School Mao. There is like, a chain where as an education officer and being part of Army Educational Corps, you do look after certain schools which are KVs, Army schools, regimental schools, all are with you that time. So I was not interested actually to take that journey up for one of the schools, and that during my last posting in Firozpur. And also this came to me before my finishing of tenure. Somebody was saying that tenure will not continue by Army. Army will not continue with this entry because they have not decided, but I was sure that it will. So there was, if I'm not wrong, Army School Hisar and then Army School Firozpur. I refused. I said, no, I cannot do that. But the destiny pulls you back. My husband was posted in Shillong, and then there was a very dear friend who rose to the senior level, and he said, Army school needs you. So I said, now, okay, now you are saying I will work, I will not take money. So I did not take anything, and I worked for 1 year over there. But then it brought me to principalship. I headed the school for 1 year, and then my husband was posted to Shillong, Indore after that. So then destiny brought me to this chain of schools, and I'm there as a principal. There are people affectionately or questionably call me paradrop principal also. So I enjoyed it as well as sometimes, it was kind of a fire without a bullet. But irrespective of that, I'm an educationist by heart now. I'm there for almost 9-10 years. 2012 this journey started. So since then I'm a principal, and I'm here in Kuala Lumpur now. Yes, learning never should stop. So learning carries on, and I tried to grab degrees as well as learning without degrees. And today also I'm there with you all. My passion is being with people, and every moment it gives you some or the other thing, it adds value. I just was trying to say, but I just held my horses that time when sir was saying mathematics is my second love. So I wanted to tell mathematics was my second hate, because my first hate my first hate was chemistry, but I carried on with mathematics because my first love was physics. So because I was told that unless you have mathematics, you can't study physics. So I carried on till graduation, and then I went to join MSc in physics. So this is the right forum when we talk about mathematics and making choices for mathematics, or converting second hate to maybe second love. And this journey can be bridged by us, and through us by teachers who can actually develop love or hate of a subject in child's mind. So thank you so very much. Opportunity. That's where I am, again a student, learning at every moment.
Ma'am, I salute you to your sincerity that you are saying that second hate is mathematics. And let me tell you that many principals, they refuse for coming up into this season. Mathematics, oh my God, I will not be able to do justice to that. How as an educationist, as a principal, you'll be able to do justice to the students when you're running away with the topics? We are not saying you to do the calculations over there. We need to understand where does the problem lies and how we can remove that. We are not talking. So if the leaders will do like this, they will get, You said that you had the courage, that I had the fear, and I want to remove that. I want to understand that, and I want to put that forward to my school also and everywhere where I can do so. So this passion should be there with the principals also. And believe me, many principals, they have refused. Okay, any topic, sir, we love to come in a show, but please take up into another topic. Mathematics, though, will be a very difficult for me. When we're talking about middle school mathematics, and that's a fear for the principals. This is what is the level of mathematics, and how they are going to remove this fear among the students, God knows. Thank you so much, ma'am, and for your passion also, that you have come to understand about that things also and discuss that also. Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have a very pleasing personality again, Radhakrishnan sir, who is the principal of United Indian School, Kuwait. Thank you so much, sir. It's nice to see you, a very gentleman like you again on this show. Radhakrishnan sir, please, because you also have a very vast experience, please let us know about your experience as an educationist. Sir, you are on mute.
Yeah. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me for this particular webinar. And I doubted first whether I had to accept it or not, because I am one of the weakest in mathematics. I don't want to say that I hate. I didn't hate, but it was very difficult for me to learn and understand mathematics. And if any of my maths teachers watch this webinar, they will wonder how this person reached over here and speaking for a mathematics webinar. They will get surprised. And as you were talking, when we are principals, we have to guide even maths teachers. Yes, even today I guide even my maths teachers because it is our duty. We learn later on. And talking about my education and career, I have completed my post-graduation in history, English, and education, and also I have an MBA in human resource development from Manipal University. Then education is an ongoing process, so I don't believe in these certificates, that these degrees and all. Still, I believe, I don't want to call myself as an educator. You were addressing me as an educationist. I still believe that I'm just a student, because only a student can become a good teacher or a good principal or anything, because we have to be with the children. That is the one message I wanted to give aspiring young teachers who want to be a principal tomorrow. Be a student. And when you are a student, naturally you can understand the pulse of the students. Without knowing the pulse of the students, sitting in the chair of the principal is meaningless. Then I started my career after completing my, what I can say, at that time we call it as pre-degree, that means 12th, because there was no source of income to continue studies. So to continue studies, I have to teach someone. So I started taking tuitions in smaller classes. In that way, I later on entered to the degree courses. I completed my degree, then post-graduation. In that way, it went on. Then I joined with Bharatiya Vidyabharan, its college in Kannur. I worked there for 3 years. And after that, I shifted to Pune, MIT School, Pune. There I worked 6 years as a postgraduate teacher. And from there, I learned from the principal a lot of things, how to manage a school or how to be a good teacher. There was Lakshmi ma'am. She was an expert. So we always look at her, and she comes to the class, she guides us how to do. Because when I reached Pune, I can say I can teach in English, I can't speak in English well. Because I also, just like Mahajan sir was telling, I was also got educated in a primary local school. So we never got the opportunity to speak in English. We were taught in Malayalam. So it was very difficult. But Lakshmi ma'am guided us how to speak, how to, not only in teaching, even how to communicate well. That means I can tell after becoming a teacher, I started conversing in English. Till that, I didn't. But then later, after the teaching over the 6 years, I got an opportunity to join with the Tatas in Mona, the higher end school Mona. Then I worked there for 9 years, and that converted my career, I can say, to a large extent, because I started experimenting with the technology from there. And also I started involving in administration of the school. And technology integration means that we did not have this type of educom or smart classes and all. And that I was addicted to technology by the time. I don't know how I could get addicted to technology by the time. And I started developing my own videos and also my own, what I can say, animations and all to teach English and also social science. Later on, I started helping science teachers and all. In that way, I could develop over there a very good digital library itself to an extent to guide the teachers. And they also, Tata has also provided me a lot of technological tools that is available in the market at that time by seeing my interest. So in that way, the technology helped me a lot in boosting my career and also helping children learn better. Whether it is social science or it is English or it is math science, all the teachers I used to help how technology can be integrated with teaching and learning. And from there, I became the quality management head for education wing of the Tata schools. Then later on, I moved to the higher positions in the Tatas itself. Then in 2009, I left and I joined with the Malpani group in Pune. Basically at Sangam near Pune, through Global. With them, I have worked and I worked there for 4 years. And there, one of my achievement in that school is a paperless office. I could establish by 2011 itself, we could establish a paperless office over there. And why this paperless office project? Because we should inspire children. We used to tell that we should be eco-friendly and everything. But do we inspire them? And I thought if we can establish a paperless office, that will be a great inspiration for the children also, how to integrate technology and how to save nature. So in that way that we implemented. Then after that, I got into Pearson Group. And for long years, 7 to 8 years, I worked with Pearson. Then finally, in 2020, Pearson left the school wing. Till that time, I had been with Pearson in Bangalore and also in Tumkur and also in Hyderabad with Pearson too. Then by the time I have developed my skills in teacher training, leadership training and all, I was a consultant for few years. I worked as a consultant for different schools and also a teacher trainer, leadership trainer and all. And finally, before 6 months, I decided to shift over to Kuwait. And I taken as charge as senior principal for United Indian School, Kuwait. So that is my journey. Thank you.
Amazing, sir. Wonderful experience you have of both the side of the industry, schools as well as the education industry also. Wonderful experience and a vast experience you have, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Next, we have Mr. Nirmal Shah. Formerly, he is the co-founder of Counting Well, a maths learning app for middle schoolers. The goal is to make mathematics learning easy, anxiety-free, and participative for children across the country. His focus is to help the so-called average students become more confident with maths and develop great problem-solving skill. They step in where school teachers are not able to provide personalized attention due to lack of time and bandwidth. He is also designing career and life lesson courses for the age of 10 to 14 group, built around mathematics. His saying is, kids must know that maths matter and it will matter throughout their life. The best way is to do that and show them how. So formally, when I met Nirmal Shah sir in one of the show where we were as a speaker, so we were talking about something, it came into my mind that yes, it is the time where we see that the students till grade 5, they enjoy the mathematics. When it comes to the middle school, especially grade 6, 7, 8, they start having a fear of mathematics. It may be the pressure of society that mathematics is going to be a big thing for you, like others feel. So that phobia becomes and rises up to the higher classes also. How this can be removed, I came up with him and he told me that they have certain type of app and they have certain type of, the thinking that how this can be removed in our schools. So I requested him as an expert to come up to our show for few sessions and enlighten us that how this problem can be removed, which is a very universal problem throughout the world, actually, I think so. So without talking much, I'll come up to Nirmal sir. Nirmal sir, thank you so much for coming. And please let us know how did it came into your mind to start up with this Counting Well and especially for the middle school, not from grade 1. You have started from the middle school, and how does it works and how it is helping the teachers as well as the students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me again. I hope that means that I have not bored you enough, and you know I keep talking about my experiences. So, why we started Counting Well was really the seed of that idea came by looking at our own children. My son was just getting into middle school at that time, and I could see the change in him. He was starting to become less interested in mathematics, and when I tried to understand the reason why, he would not say what the reason was. He just started getting disinterested. That's all. So we tried to kind of dig in and understand what's really going on in his mind, why he is actually getting disinterested. And what we found is that concepts are getting more complex. He is finding it difficult to understand some concepts. And because some of the concepts that he should have understood in the earlier classes, he has not been able to understand and he's not carrying it forward. That was one of the reasons that he could not be very, very confident with his problem solving. The other thing that we saw is also that there were different aspects of problem solving. So now up to fifth grade, it's really more of play, right? So they're just doing basic number operations, not really doing anything complex. But now we are mixing multiple concepts. They have to do some kind of problem solving strategy. They have to do some kind of word problems and things like that. And to do all of that, they have to be a little more advanced than what they were doing in the primary school. And what I found is that the typical attention that was given in his classroom was always towards calculations, right? Number operations, numbers, calculations, all those kind of things. The focus was not on comprehension skills. The focus was not on developing problem solving skills as such. So that's how we came up with this thought that, first we have to be able to understand what is really lacking in these children. And my co-founder Ravi and I, we've been friends for about 20 years. So we kind of talked about it to each other, and we said, let's try to develop some kind of an analysis tool. We come from an IT background, so this was the typical thought, right? Let's create a program and let's see, try to analyze, collect some data and try to analyze. So we did that. We created a kind of assessment tool, and we went to some schools and we said, let's do a kind of pilot. Let's see what happens. So we went to a few schools and we said, we want to take middle school children because that is where we are seeing all this complexity happen. And let us try to understand what are these learning gaps? Why are these children starting to lose interest in mathematics? And then we did this assessment. About 1,500 students took that assessment. And we got the results. We took the results to the principals and they said, this is fine. All you have done with the children is okay. We want you to test our teachers also. And we said, okay, we'll give them the same test. It's no different. And we asked the teachers to take the test. Now, there were two very interesting things we found. One, there was an 8th grade teacher and we had given them a 6th grade problem. And she said, I cannot solve this problem because I don't teach 6th grade anymore. And that was a big surprise to us. I was like, why? I mean, 8th grade is 6th grade plus 1 grade plus 1 grade. So you should be able to know that. And then the other thing we found is that the learning gaps that the children had were the same learning gaps that the teachers had. And this was a huge, huge surprise to us. So we were wondering, why is this happening? We talked to the principals, and one thing is obvious, that they come with that same. So for example, when the 8th grade teacher says that I will only teach 8th grade, then obviously the learning gaps will come because you're missing out on what you should have learned or taught in the previous grades. So that even though it seems very focused, actually it is defocused. So this was a kind of starting point for us. Then the principal said that all of you guys, you're doing all these things, you come from IT background. So a lot of this analysis is good, but we want a solution to this problem. So you don't come and just give us this assessment and tell us that these are the gaps. How do we fix this? Because this problem, as you have found, is also with the teachers. So we cannot say that teachers go and teach and they will teach it. We have to have a way to fill these gaps. So that is how the whole genesis of Counting Well came to be. Then we created the whole learning content and structure around it. And we said that how do we find a way to identify the learning gaps, create this personalized learning for the children and deliver that learning to the children. At the same time, how do we create a kind of a solution for the teachers as well, where they can see these are the learning gaps. So now at least the teachers can see what the problems are for the children and how they have to fill the gaps. And maybe, if they themselves have the gaps, then it will be a kind of mirror for them, right? So they will be able to see, and they will be able to try and solve it for themselves as well as for the children. So that's how we started.
Sir, and you also told us that certain level you're giving it free to the students right now this session.
Correct. So we have decided that, now a lot of schools are coming back from the COVID shutdowns and all of that. And when we talk to schools, they said that we are already having a lot of expenses. We don't want to pass the expenses on to parents as well. So we said, for 22-23 academic year, basically, we will keep the platform entirely free for the schools. Even for the children, to a certain extent, we are keeping it free so that they can continue to learn. And especially when we keep talking about these learning gaps, right? So all of these came from this COVID shutdowns and schools not running and all of those kind of things in the last 2 years. So we want to be at that forefront where we use technology, not just to say that, we will do attendance and we will do LMS and we will do video lectures, but we actually start finding way of achieving learning objectives and filling these learning gaps. So that's why we've decided to keep it free for this year.
Sir, and one more question which the principals will like to ask, and I'm asking on their behalf. The data of the students, is that safe when we are using these types of apps? That is the most important thing which everybody wants. They don't want it for free or anything like that. But the most important thing is the safety of the data. That is the most important.
Correct.
What
So
about that?
See, we only track what they are learning and how much they are learning, right? There is no other data that we actually capture. And a lot of this is also remaining anonymized. So in some cases, when we want to personalize the learning for the children, we have to know their learning path, where they are making mistakes, what kind of mistakes they're making, so that we can use our AI to create that personalized learning for them. But beyond that, we make sure that it is totally anonymized. So that means that there is a lot of data, but it is not necessarily linked with specific students. We link it with a classroom, we link it with a grade and so on. So that way the teachers can see what is going on in the class. At the same time, the data is not exposed. Also, obviously, now there are so many constraints and so many security regulations which are there, which we have to follow, which makes sure that we do not expose this data to outside entities. We don't share this data with outside entities and all of that. So that's a given.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming. We'll come up to the first round, which I would call it as question round. I'll call it as suggestion round. I'll come up to Mool Chandani, sir. Sir, the first question to you will be that mathematics, as we are discussing, mathematics becomes a burden in middle school. According to you, what are the reasons behind it?
Good evening to everyone. It's great to be on this program, and it's great to be among so many eminent and dignified principals. Mathematics is a unique subject, and I feel it is a fundamental part of any school curriculum. It's responsible for the development of various sciences. According to me, I explored this into 15 reasons as to why mathematics becomes a burden in the middle school for the students. The first one is lack of positive attitude. We as teachers need to generate a positive attitude in students about this subject. Calling it tough and something where you need to pay more attention is something we need to put away with. We need to tell these children it is a wonderful subject. It's something you are doing with numbers, something which you're doing with learning, and something which is a part of your day-to-day life. So one thing is developing a very strong rapport, a strong approach, a strong positive attitude in the subject. That's one reason why I see children find it a burden once they go from grade 5 to grade 6 and so on. Secondly, the mistakes which students commit need to be looked into very carefully. We need to analyze it. We need to study it. We need to structure it and see that these mistakes are not kept on repeating. I always tell my children when I have taught maths or even now, write. Maths is not something you're going to learn like social studies, English, Hindi, and other subjects. You need to write, and the practice has to be in writing. You don't write, you don't practice, you will never ever understand maths for the whole of your life. You write, you understand the steps, you understand the method, you understand the procedure, and most important, you time yourself. The third reason which I find is, I'm not blaming it on any school, the inappropriate methods of teaching. If only the teacher is facing the board and writing and the children are copying down from the board, that is not what maths is all about. Children are not there to see our knowledge. Please understand that. I even tell my teachers of all subjects, inspectors, children are not there to see your knowledge. They want to see how much children are learning, children are grasping, children are understanding, children are following. Let them come on the board, let them solve, let them make umpteen mistakes. We as educators, we as teachers are there to correct them. And definitely the children in a group of 30 or 40 in the class can help each other, guide each other, correct the mistakes. Nobody is born perfect. We also make mistakes as leaders. So if children of age 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever, are making mistakes, that is a room for them to step further and study better. So we should give them time to learn. There should be appropriate methods of teaching. This inappropriate method of teaching where the teacher writes on the board, come on children, copy down, will never ever allow children to have the feel and the love and the connection with maths. Again, the fourth point, the connection between the student and the subject is lost. As I told you, the teacher writes and the children copy. That's not the way maths was ever taught. You have to ask the children, you have to make the children talk, speak, write, and let them come forward and practice sums on the board, write sums on the board, or most important, teacher moving around in the class to see what children are writing. A maths teacher just cannot stand near the board. He or she needs to move around in the class, have the personal touch, see what children are writing, help them, correct them, guide them. Maybe the gifted children are helping the less achievers. The gifted children are helping the special need children. And that's how things go on. I always tell my teachers, and I tell this in all the forums, irrespective of the topic, the results we get in the schools where the toppers, the teacher's contribution is just 5 or 10%. If I'm a 90% child holder and I'm getting 95%, it's not the teacher's contribution. The child is already gifted. The child is already talented. The child is already clever. If he or she has gone from 90 to 95, it's his hard work. No doubt the teacher's role is there. But if a 40 or a 50% child goes to 60 and 70s and 80s, yes, there lies the charm and glory of the teacher and her contribution, and there lies her success, his or her success mantra. So when children do well, and if they go from lower percentages to higher percentages, even it's 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, the teacher's hard work is imminent and visible. So we need to look at all these factors very carefully. Fifthly, lack of handling the pressure. In primary, children have the personalized approach, one-to-one approach. I'm not saying they don't get that in secondary, but as they come to the middle school, grade 6, 7, 8, the pressure rises. They're slowly entering their teens. They feel there is a competition. We need to remove this word competition from their minds, and we need to only make them understand one thing. They're here to learn, they're here to grow, and they're here to go ahead in studies. Marks is not everything. I'll never take children with marks in my schools. No. Anybody and everybody is welcome to my school. Even a low achiever has a right to study. Even a high achiever has a right to study. Even a middle achiever has a right to study. So this pressure should be put away, and children should not be subject to pressure. Okay, it's maths exam, children, come on, pay attention. You need to be more alert. No, all the subjects are equally important, and we should remove this, fear of pressure, fear of attention. All this should be removed from the minds of children. Only then they will study. Let them be independent. Let them be alone. Let them study. Let them make mistakes. You only learn from mistakes. The next is a lack of understanding of signs and symbols, formulas, and basic concepts. This has been, I think, one of the most prominent reasons why maths is, so low in the middle school. Like I had done my M.Ed thesis way back in 2008. What was the impact of change of syllabus of mathematics on the state board children? This was one thing which I understood. Children are not able to understand the signs, symbols, formulas, concepts, applications, theorems, statements, just because they just want to mark it up. They want to rote it. They want to learn it by heart. I still believe strongly as a student, as a teacher, for the last 30 years, you cannot learn anything by hearting. Whatever it may be, English, math, science, Hindi, social studies, or whatever. You need to understand it and put it down in your own points. Even the CBSE or any board allows the liberty to the examiner. If children have written something which is appropriate and apt, not definitely word to word from the textbook. They must be assessed and they must be given marks for the same. So that is one thing, Other is development of confidence. This all lies at the hands of the teacher, how he or she develops confidence among children, calls them, awards them. I'm not saying giving chocolates and gifts, maybe symbols, stars, stripes, well done notes, appreciation cards. All this makes a very, very big impact when you want to be a strong teacher and a teacher whom children look forward to, whether it's the maths period or any other period. Next is strengthening the basic skills. The basic skills of children need to be revised. I always believe, when I'm taking a class on Monday, I need to revise what I have taught them on Friday, at least for a minute or two or three. Not that I'm come, chalo, I have to finish 4 sums today. I have to finish 5 sums on Tuesday. I have to finish 6 sums on Wednesday. I have to finish 3 sums on Thursday. No, your lesson plans can go haywire. That's not a problem. But your children's studies cannot go haywire. You must give a minute or 2 or 4 to just recap, recollect what has been taught the previous day. Whatever be the case, whether it's maths or any other subject, you need to, revisit the concepts and skills and topics which have been taught the previous day so that children are strengthening basic skills.
So, sir, we can say in one line that it should not be a teacher-oriented class. It should be a student-oriented class.
I'm coming to the last point there. Yes, I'm coming to the last point there, Oli. In other words, you need to give appropriate guidance. You need to give appropriate methods of teaching. You need to make maths very creative and exciting. I'll be talking more about it when my next question comes up to me. In other words, the class should be student-centered. Children should be making their notes, writing the notes, and making the class more, the teacher makes the class more attractive, student-centered, creative, innovative, and it's children who are at the center of the learning. The teacher talk is 5% and the student involvement is 95% and above. So I feel these are the basic reasons why middle school maths is a burden for some children. It all depends on the teacher, how he or she makes the class more creative, innovative, and fruitful. Thank you.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right, sir. That is what I was saying, that in precise we can say it should not be a teacher-oriented class. It should be a child-oriented class with examples and with entertainment, with the, gamification and everything they are teaching the students. It will become more interesting and they'll love the subject. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to Seema ma'am. Seema ma'am, we are in, shortage of time also. Please, we want a precise answer from you on the same topic. That what are the reasons behind the middle school children when they start, running away from mathematics?
You see, maths is an interesting subject, but nonetheless, it has got a bad reputation. So where does it stem from? That we need to ask that. I feel, if you ask me, my personal opinion is that it stems from the immediate environment that the child is in. And that comes from the home first. I feel that sometimes the parents too much hover around the difficulty that maths presents in its own way. So there's a lot of importance on solving maths for hours together as compared to other subjects. Maths kar lo, So they feel that, or they present it in such a way that maths is a subject which will help them to stand out in the society or stand out as, intelligent students. So that's something which makes perhaps presents the mindset to them at a very early stage of their life that it is the most important subject and it is very difficult too, and therefore that anxiety is created and mathophobia is created. So that mathophobia is one, I feel, that stems from the immediate environment, parents. So that's secondly. Of course, the teacher's attitude, that's extremely important. In mathematics, we have found that the answer is what is important, right or wrong. But what about the steps? What about the process in which the child has tried to arrive at the solution? That process is sometimes undermined. So the student who is unable to arrive at the final answer is somehow felt helpless or undermined. So that's one of the reasons, I would say. So the teacher's attitude in dealing with the subject mathematics in a very stereotypical way, in a very monotonous way, in drill and practice method alone, also could be one of the reasons of making the middle school student feel that it's a burden or it's very difficult. The third point I would say is, maths is a cumulative subject. So it's a build up on concepts. So if the child doesn't have a continuity of the concepts in a progressive way from one grade to the another grade. And if enough of attention is not given to build up the concepts that the child has learned previously, then he may miss out on an important lesson taught in mathematics. So that aspect has to be taken into consideration by all schools when it is on about teaching mathematics is concerned. The next is sometimes mathematics is taught in a very abstract way, where the children are unable to understand why is mathematics important to me, why is it, they don't find it relevant to the day-to-day life, so they lose their interest as such. So these are, I think, some of the points that I feel precisely to be the reason for them to carry the burden. In literature words, if I would say that, I would sum it up by saying, since the time is short and you've given me a very less time, mathematics is the poetry of logical ideas. It's the music of reason. So it's very important for all the teachers to understand that we make them taste this music and make them feel this poetry with a lot of more creativity, a lot of more understanding, with a lot of more creativity in the classroom and experimentation, a lot of multisensory approach, and a lot of relevance to the day-to-day life. With this, I sum up my ideas. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely right, ma'am. Absolutely right. Because there's a society pressure on the child that now maths is going to be a big thing for them. They don't, as you said, that all the time you have to practice maths as compared to other subjects. Because again, all the things are happening, like there is a pressure from the parents, from the teachers, and from the society and all, that maths is going to be a big thing for you. And that develops into the mind of a child that I will not be able to do this. This is not my cup of tea. And that rises up to. Naturally, when it goes on obviously when the teacher is very good, this won't happen. There are people here also who love mathematics, and here people are also who don't love mathematics. They run away from mathematics because the first one, they have got good teachers when they were studying, and the other ones, they didn't got good teachers who did not taught them in the practical way. Everything was present in the old era also, and now also. All that, nuclear power and everything, you see that Mahabharata and Ramayana, the nuclear powers, everything was there. But how the teachers took it, it's not that without technology, nothing was there. All the technology was there in the thousands of years back also. But how the teachers take up the subject to you, because these type of apps and everything, they are tools. The important thing is the teacher, who is the intermediator, who takes the subject to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Pramod sir. Pramod sir, what are your views on this saying that mathematics is not only about numbers, it is also about understanding?
Yeah, mathematics is not at all about the numbers. It is understanding. More than that, logical understanding. It is not only the music of logical thing, but it is a poem which has been written by the students logically. So they should understand the logical consistency and the real life equations, real life situations. Logical consistency plays a vital role, and a person who is logically consistent, or the app which is logically consistent, can bring the mathematical magic within the student. So what is happening, actually, we are not taking. I wanted to cite one real life example. We are we have a farmhouses and we grow bananas. So 6-7 years before, I was there at my farmhouse, and then every banana plant gives a langar which consists of so many branches of bananas, and we are selling it. So my supporter, that person who was working in our farmhouse, he was bringing that thing by the weighing machine. We are weighing it and selling it. So first time he did, second time he did, third time he came to me. He is uneducated person. He said, "Bhaiya, there is something wrong with this weighing machine. I am doing all this job from last 10 years. I know that thing. The weight of this branch is not less than 22 kg, but this weighing machine is making it 20 kg. Something wrong." That person who was taking, he said, "My weighing machine is ISI marked." Here the mathematics lies, the real life situation. And he challenged me. He said, "What to do?" I said, "Yeah, now weighing machine in the farmhouse, what to do?" So first bunch, we have that machine has weighed, and the weight was 22 kg. Second, again 20 kg. So he said, "No, there is something wrong." So then I started thinking what to do. because that person is also not wrong. So what we did, we coupled both the branches together. So 22 kg and 20 kg, when we coupled both together and when we weigh it, it should have been 42 kg, but it was 44 kg. Instead of 42 kg, it was 44 kg. So what is the logical consistency in that? That weighing machine was designed in such a manner that it weighs always 2 kg less only. So that 22 kg which has been weighed by that one, it was 24 kg. And another one which is 20 kg, it was another 22 kg. So 24 plus 22, 46. And when we combine it together, it weighs always 2 kg less only. So that 46 will become 44. So that way, if we teach them the mathematics, or Nirmal Shah sir, if that way we design any app which includes the logical consistency, mathematics will become very, very interesting. There is no second thought about
You're
that.
absolutely right, sir. Pramod sir.
Yeah. So logical consistency plays a vital role. What is happening? Thakur sir has explained, Sima ma'am has explained. More than that, I am telling you, teachers are teaching calculation, but even they are not teaching them calculation, they are teaching them manipulation. They manipulate the numbers also. 3 plus 3, 6. Okay, let us suppose it is 7. Why to suppose it is 7? The 7 is greater than 6 and 6 is less than 7. So when we say that thing 7 is greater than 6, and why it is greater than 6? Why 6 is lesser than 7? If you spend 10 minutes in that, that manipulation will become calculation, and that calculation will convert it into logical thinking, and that logical thinking redefines the mathematics, and then the person will become fan of mathematics. But the problem is we are manipulating them, and that teaching, actually when we are teaching mathematics, we are not teaching mathematics. If you again reshuffle the teaching, we are cheating mathematically to them. We don't tell them the simple interest and compound interest. We'll give the formula, calculate that thing. Yeah. Compound interest is better. Why it is better? If you explain them what is the role of that R, what is the role of that N, you spend 10 minutes with them to explain that thing, how different the simple interest and how different the compound interest is, things will change. So logical consistency plays a vital role. Another thing is sequencing. In the KG, I visited my KG classes. In my school, we have a maximum strength in KG. I have 3,300 students only in KG. So when we visit that thing, nicely teachers were teaching them smaller than, greater than, heavier, lighter. But when they come to the grade 4 and grade 5, why 8 is greater than 7, they don't understand. Why? Because we started cheating them. We started manipulating the figures, manipulating the numbers. Number itself speaks. Number speaks. 10 has got its own importance. And you have very rightly said all these apps and all these technologies were there in India. India is the country who has given 0 to the world. Not only the 0 to the world, but importance of 0, how important the 0 is. And after that, the Americans were started thinking about the infinity. But the 0 was given by the, not only the 0, the importance of 0, where to put 0 to make the number more effective, and where to put 0 to make the number less effective. So that more effectiveness and less effectiveness creates the charm and glamour in the mathematics. If we create that thing, trust me, mathematics is not mathematics. It is a language. It is a science. It is the approximation. It is the probability. It is the algebra. It is the geometry. It is the one which defines the world. If we have to connect globally, pattern you have to understand. You have to what we can say qualify the relationship, how the relationship is maintained, and that is by the pattern. You have to find out what will be the future productions. Mathematicians, I was listening to the BBC London, very nicely predicted when the war which is happening between Ukraine and Rus will finish, and what will happen on the 52nd day and what will happen on the 54th day. On what basis? He understand the pattern. Then all permutation combination, and then the prediction. We are so accurate in predicting the earthquakes and all. That is again the mathematics. So if we create that charm within the class, starting from the primary, I'm surprised why they have taken middle class, because the main mathematical charm or main mathematical aspects or pattern develops within the mind or within the brain. That is the primary age. KG1, KG2, innocently they understand the pattern, they understand the larger, smaller, lighter and heavier. But when they come to the primary, the killing of mathematics starts. And it is completely killed in the middle class. And those who are really away from that, they do wonders when they come to 9th and 10th. So that is my prima facie views
Right,
on
sir.
the mathematics.
You're absolutely right, sir. Logical teaching is not over there. I'll also take a short example, a green crosser coming up, and the lady is saying that give me this 1 kg, this half kg, this 100 grams, this 250 grams. And that illiterate person within a fraction of seconds will tell you how much money you have to pay.
Yeah.
And when you give this in a word problem to a child, he will start using the formulas. A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. Now, why? Because sir has told me, ma'am has told me this. Why? Your main thing was why. And this why is being cleared with logics and whatever ways you said, sir, and sir also said. That is very important. If the maths teacher is start doing this, and because now the tools are also there, how they are helping the teachers, because sir will also, Nirmal sir will also tell us that a 40 class of 40 minutes one teacher cannot handle. What ways can be taken out that all the 40 students can be handled, and logically they can understand the mathematics, the logic behind the things. Because the logic, that is what we say, why. This should be clear to the students, and that will become the the best subjects of all. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to Dinisha ma'am. Dinisha ma'am will also like to understand your views on the same, saying that mathematics is not only about numbers, it is about understanding.
Thanks for giving this question, because as I said, very honestly, I submitted that when I was a student, it was my second hate, and I would start from there. And I also would like to say that when Counting Well talks about mathematics from middle level, I think that's the most wise thing to start with, because the level of mathematics, as Mr. Mahajan said, is very well started in the pre-primary segment, where it is a there's a playway method. You are playing, you're using chocolates, you're using a lot of other support material. Children enjoy, and then it goes to plus, minus, multiply, addition, division. That's it. Until standard 5, this goes. Standard 6 comes with algebra, the introduction to algebra, the introduction. I'm telling you my journey. In other words, I'm just telling you what I faced as a student. My dad was a doctor, a biology person, and that to be when he started mathematics, that was compound interest and all that kind of thing, probably as student. And then he went to medical. So precisely, nobody was there to tell me about mathematics at home. And this algebra, when it stuck me till 5th standard, I was gaga about mathematics. I was enjoying, oh wow, I'm getting good marks, I'm topping. Everything was very good. When I came to 6th standard, as somebody said, I started ratifying, oh, this formula, this. I was good at doing that also, I was doing it. But the logic behind rational numbers, all those number system, understanding the geometry part of it, I was not able to understand the logic behind it, number one. Number two was that, as ma'am was saying, that we are creating a stress level among students, that mathematics is a difficult thing. I think that is a fact actually. Mathematics demands time. Mathematics is important, and the importance should be known to the person who's handling a particular subject. But how teachers handle this in classroom, I'm not blaming. I mean, I owe it to my teachers, but somewhere something was amiss, and I topped standard 8 in my school, which probably gave me good marks in mathematics also. But as far as my understanding was concerned, when I passed out, I was probably standing nowhere. When I came to standard 9, And all of a sudden things change, because ninth level and eighth level, again, there is a change in level of mathematics. I was very bad to that extent that somebody who was advising me, my dad's friend's son, he said, get me 6th standard book tomorrow. And I felt humiliated in standard 9th, when I'm one of the toppers, he's asking me to get 6th standard book. But I did, because my dad told me to do it. Yes, do it. So 2 days for 6th standard, 2 days for 7th standard, 2-3 days for 8th standard. He spent that time with me. And after that, I think I understood the base, including the fractions and understanding the addition and subtraction of fractions. All that was revised by that big brother of mine, who later on turned to be an army officer and was my senior also. And that brought me on track. So middle school requires more attention, because in 2 ways. One is using technology. Second is using connect of teachers towards students. I was not understanding, but I was never probably having courage to ask what I'm not understanding. Probably there were many in my class who were not understanding, but they were not knowing what they are not understanding. And all of us were thinking everybody is understanding except me, and nobody was raising hand that I'm not understanding. And that happens with many of our students today also. All of us sitting in a group or in a forum or in a classroom may not raise hand to question something which we are not understanding, thinking that everybody is understanding how the teacher or the person leading the classroom would take me. So one thing we need to pick up from here is that openness, that, oh, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be not knowing the thing. It's okay to come back to me. I'll spend extra time. That little time if you spend with a student sometimes, or the openness when we give to the student, that it's absolutely okay if you're not understanding. There is nothing to feel humiliated about it, I think will help us. And now coming on to the technology part also, first time I understood Pythagoras theorem and the actual reality of Pythagoras theorem when I googled something, and I was there was an app where it was not app, it was a video. I was teaching my elder daughter about it, and there was a video where the parts of the triangle moved together and show that how a square plus b square becomes c square. And the parts were moving and multiplying and showing, and then coming back to the situation. So the bottom line of everything is that mathematics is important and needs time. Mathematics is very logical and needs logical acceptance of flaws also. Mathematics needs support in the sense of supporting if you are not understanding, and even external support for boosting the motivation level of a student, that yes, everyone can do it. I have seen people doing it, and I have seen people not doing it. Another example is my elder daughter, who was studying in Shillong, Meghalaya board till 7th standard. 8th she came to North with CBSE. There was a gap of level of mathematics. This child was new in school, and she joined little late also. She solved a sum, and teacher said, "You have done it yourself." First day, she solves a sum, she joins late. Teacher says, "You have done it yourself." Till now, she doesn't want to do mathematics. She lost confidence. There we are somewhere faltering. And that is the thing. She appeared for CLAT and left the mathematics portion blank. She was one of the toppers in 10th. She was one of the topper in 12th. She is on scholarship, but if you talk about mathematics, she doesn't want to do it. Somewhere that aspect of being a teacher, all of us, we can make a difference in somebody's life, especially for mathematics, because either it is there or it is not there. It is entirely up to us how we open the gateway for students. And there comes the basic need of, empathetic attitude, which is most important.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. You're absolutely right, ma'am, because this is the fact, this is the truth of mathematics which is happening with the students since long. We have to change that. And that is why we are over here. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable views. Now we have Radhakrishnan sir. Radhakrishnan sir, we want to like to know from you that how does technology makes maths more interesting and easy?
Yeah. First of all, when we talk about this mathematics teaching, contextualization is the most important aspect. Many children has this phobia, math phobia, because we fail in one way or the other to contextualize. We teach different mathematical theories, but do we tell them when to use it, how to use it, how it is beneficial for you? So children should know what is the objective of teaching a particular aspect. Now we are talking about now, whether it is Seema Ma'am, Mahajan sir, Thakur sir, then Ishabha, everyone spoke about the theories and also how we have to practice and all. Okay, and they were also emphasizing on contextualization and all. Now, when we think about a skill, how the children can use it, whatever is taught in the class, after the class in their day-to-day life, that is very important. And when we talk about day-to-day life, there comes technology. Now you told about Pythagorean theorem, this one, that one, a lot of things. But these things we can use very easily by utilizing the technology available at present. Even sometimes I have seen when even math teachers come to my cabin with when in the meeting said or some calculations are needed, they go by procedures, additions of, and within fraction of second, and they all know I am not that much good at math because I used to tell, but within fraction of second I give them the result. Then they used to ask me, how sir? I told I have the computer. I put the figures in the what I can say in the Excel sheet. I got the answer. I think you are getting my point. What I am telling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
In the present age, what is needed? They are not going to calculate with the papers. So whatever we teach in the classroom, can they use it by using tech? I am not telling they should understand the concepts very clearly. They should have conceptual understanding, but they should be able to use technology to apply it. That is very important. And when we talk about technology to use it, technology to apply it, how many of our math teachers know actually there are two types of technology that we can use, content specific and also content neutral. And content specific, I don't know, counting well, I heard for the first time. So I don't know what type of app he developed. I have no idea. From my knowledge, from my experiments with the math teachers, with my adopting technologies, there are wonderful tools available online. Most of these tools are free. Paid is also there, but most of the technologies are free now. There are free apps. This computer algebraic system, if we use that, whatever they learn, algebra they learn, that they can practice. Then again, they can see dynamic geometry environment, another tool. By using that, whatever they learn in the geometry, they can apply it. And not only that I am telling, even there are plenty of such tools, available. Along with that, now we wanted to teach different mathematical theorems and all. Now, even math teachers used to tell in the class, you imagine. What I'm asking is, there is no word called imagine in the classroom at present when virtual reality is available. There is no need to tell you imagine. That imagination, that word should disappear. You bring it to reality, the real situation you bring to the class. And by using virtual tech, the virtual reality that can be brought. Then now 5G is also coming up. So 5G also make it very, it's possible. Even in our classrooms in United Indian School, we use 5G. There is no need of server or anything. Virtual reality can be brought to the classroom. So children can see in geometry, whatever they want, they can see it, how it impacts. There is more content specific technology when we use, but whether we know the content specific technologies which are freely available. And for data analysis, for all these, when we are teaching about statistics and other things, because basic statistics comes even in the middle school section. Do we tell them how to analyze the data? Do we connect it with the cricket? Do we connect it with the football? Then it will become interesting. That means mass teaching should be multidisciplinary. That is very important, because this, to avoid mass phobia, we should make it multidisciplinary. We should bring in history where calculations can be added. We should bring in chemistry. We should bring in physics. Then from different parts, we can make it more interesting. That's what we have to do. Then when we come to content neutral technology can also be used, because children need to expose whatever they created. We are giving problems to solve them. Can they present it to the world? Content neutral technology allows them to present it to the world, because they can interact with the millions of children in other contexts. Then that boosts their confidence. And when they present one particular problem to the children outside their country or some other school by using content neutral technologies, naturally by collaboration, what happens? Their confidence gets boosted, and they will be experimenting more to present in front of others. This is the another way by which mass phobia can be eradicated. And for all this, our teachers should become techno-savvy. That is very important. And when we think about this COVID-19 and all, COVID-19 world has provided us a wonderful opportunity. They pushed us to that. But I'm very much scared today. Are we going back to the pre-COVID era, our classrooms? Because managements, teachers, parents, student, I won't say, especially managements, government, and other stakeholders, they all wanted to move back to the pre-COVID era classrooms. Then the nature's blessing through the COVID, that is going to disappear. That should not happen. We should be adapting technology to teach maths. That will help the children a lot, because we have alpha generation kids. They are born and brought up with the technology, and they are going to live also. It is not born and brought up. I am not emphasizing that born and brought up point. What I am going to emphasize, the point is they have to live in a technological world, and we don't know what type of technology they are going to use in the future. Sometimes what mathematical calculation they want it when they imagine in their mind, that can appear on the screen. Such type of technology can come. So children should be using that technology. So teachers should use it. Then maths will become a fun learning. That's what I feel. I think that time exceeded.
Yes, sir. Absolutely right, sir. It's a very interesting topic. We can talk throughout the day also. It will be less. Thank you so much, sir. Nirmal sir will come up to you now. You are one of जो कचहरी में कैटेगरी में आप हैं. You have heard every participant, every speaker, the learned educationist. Directly, indirectly, they had a number of questions. So how does these type of apps like Counting Well, do they stand correct towards all the questions they have? Like Radhakrishnan sir said, and Dinisha ma'am also said that these are the problems which she faced, which should not be to the teachers. Mulchandani sir also told that a practical approach should be there, the teaching method, like Majan sir also said that, and CMM also told the things. What are your views on all these things, and how are you justifying your Counting Well app that, they stand, 100% towards whatever every speaker has said? Over to you, sir.
Sure, sir. So a lot of things to say. It's very little time, but I will try to justify it with a few points. So I think what everybody has brought up, I think it boils down to this. One thing is that we are saying that mathematics what is being taught in the classroom has to be contextualized with what is there in the real life, right? That is very important. Second thing is on the softer side, not exactly the technicality of teaching mathematics, but how it is being taught to children. Are we making it a positive experience for children? That is the other aspect of it, right? So these are the two important aspects of it. Now we can go into a lot of other technicalities, but just to address these two, I think one of the things very important is this whole positive aspect of mathematics, of learning mathematics. And one of the experiences that we have had is that when we ask the child to learn on the app, what we have seen is that they are learning in a non-intimidating atmosphere. They don't have other children looking at them. They don't have other children judging them. They don't have the teacher judging them. Sometimes they don't even have the parents judging them. When that is happening, the child is free. The child is uska dil ekdam halka hota hai. That's what I'm trying to say. They are okay to make mistakes. If they make a mistake, nobody is watching, so they will move on. It will be a positive experience to them. And what we have found is that that makes them self-learners. It makes them feel that, yes, I made a mistake, but I can still move on. I can still learn from my mistake. So I think that and a self-learning app can give that setup for the child. The second part is contextualizing it with real life, right? So for example, in our case, what we have done is that we have created additional courses on the app itself, where we say that you learn data science, foundations of data science for middle schoolers, very specific. Now, what we do there is we link it with data handling, right? This is something that children learn. They learn to make charts, they learn to make graphs, they learn to look at numbers, frequency tables, all of this. They don't know what to do with it. Why are we using this in our life? They learn probability, they don't know what to do with it. So one of the things, for example, one of the example we've given the children is that there is a cricket match going on. India and Australia are playing cricket, especially for Indian kids. This is Mecca, right? This is what they want. Cricket is the thing. So we took the cricket as an example. So we said cricket match is going on. In 70% of the matches, India has won when they play on this pitch. Now, what is the chance that India will win this match? So now the concept of probability is coming in. The kids don't know that they're using probability, but they are using probability, right? Then we say it's going to rain. This is the humidity. This is the temperature. Do you think India will still win the match if the chances of India winning when it rains is reducing to 50%? So now they have to use temperature, they have to use humidity to determine if it will rain or not. And then based on that, use probability. There are so many concepts they are using. And I'm telling you, the kids will use it because it is cricket, right? And all the mathematics that they hated, that they feared, they were average children, everything is put to the side. They start using this mathematics here. So I think this is the way that we want to teach mathematics. So we have syllabus oriented content, but we are creating all this kind of content. We are creating content around financial literacy. We want the children to learn the basics of finance and why mathematics is important to that in the middle school, because that way they will start realizing the importance of mathematics. So I think that is the way we are trying to contextualize the whole thing for children. And the third and final thing is, how is it going to add value to the schools and teachers, right? Ultimately, even the parents feel that all this is fine, but this is on the side. So unless the teachers are involved, unless the schools are involved, the parents don't see the importance of things like this. So what we also realize is that we want to give this tool as a very, very powerful tool to the teacher. Let it become something in the hands of teacher, where the teacher can say that I will use this for, let's say, a formative assessment. I will give it as a homework to the child. But for me as a teacher, it becomes a formative assessment of my class. I know where my class stands. I know where my learning gaps are. Now, as part of that assessment, what we also do is we assess what the child has not learned from the previous classes. So if I am not able to solve a problem of 8th grade, we go backwards and we say, okay, let's try to give a related concept of 7th grade. Does the child know that? Does the child know something in 6th grade? If they don't know that, then obviously they will not be able to solve an 8th grade problem. So now we start giving that data to the teacher and to the child as well, that this is a 6th grade thing that you don't know, and that is why you are not able to. And this is the exact thing I think Seema ma'am brought up as well. And that the previous knowledge is important, right? What you've learned previously carries on. And if we can capture that, that becomes a very, very important data point for the teacher and for the child. So putting this all together, and that is why I think the topic that you have chosen is very, very interesting. EdTech 2.0, right? EdTech 1.0 in my mind was the live classes, was the LMSs, was the online attendance system, was the online fee payment system. Now we use data to actually empower teacher and empower children and move the education forward, not move the administration forward, right? Online class is really administering the classroom. Attendance is administration. Fees is administration. Now we are talking about real education, and that is EdTech 2.0. And that's where we want to be. And sorry, I'm making a pitch, very shameless pitch for my product, but that is what it should be, right? That is how education and technology should be together. That is how they should work together.
You are absolutely right, sir. We have seen in the class that students that don't want to ask the questions because the rest of the class will make fun of them that you don't know this much. And this is the reason why many of the students don't put up their hand up that please explain me again.
Correct.
Now they are the learning gap increases. But with the tools like these, Accounting Well or others, the student can at their ease. You said it very rightly that in 24/7, any time when he's doing this, he's all alone. There's no one to make fun of him. He can go into the app. He can understand the concepts again. And again, when he'll come up to the class next day, he'll be up to the same level with the other students. There won't be only 2 to 3 toppers in the class. All the 30 plus students will be the topper in the class. So that is the use of.
They will feel, they will have the confidence that I can top, right? Whether they top or not, obviously, it's also the intelligence, cleverness, all that comes in. But that is why, like you said, and our goal is to help the average students. They are the ones who need that confidence. And that's the group that we should be able to give that confidence to.
Of course, sir. Of course, this is very important because the topper students, they are themselves the toppers. So every student becoming a little higher on the more higher side, that is the most important thing. And that is what we are doing in the schools. So when we come up to the root, if see any of the subject, it is not understandable, will become a phobia for the child, especially the mathematics. If the child is able to understand, and he will enjoy that for sure, because maths is very interesting subject. This we have to put forward to the students of the world. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the next round. It should be a very rapid fire round. And I'll give only 1 minute to all the participants to speak in precise. It's a request to all of you. I'll come up to Mulchandani sir. Mulchandani sir, suggest few ways in which a teacher can make maths more interesting in 60 seconds.
I will speak 60 seconds because I have a top level meeting coming up with my management and my teachers. As we are welcoming children back on Monday, more than 3,000 children. Now, to make maths more interesting and loving for all our students, some of these strategies are: one is maths games, okay. The other could be visual aids and picture books, which teachers needs to use effectively in the class. Like there are sites like Teachers Pay Teachers, where lots is available. Next is using modern technology, as Mr. Radhakrishnan has already said it in detail. Hands-on approach, absolutely important. Having maths puzzles like Tanagram, Ken, Magic Squares, all that makes a big impact. Encouraging communication with students and parents, like having a lot of conferences with parents, time and again about their children's achievements. Focusing on students, very important, what they have learned, the learning gaps. Sticking to fixed routines, having expectations from our children is absolutely important, very important. Using real objects like abacus, spheres, and prisms. Physical involvement, as I've already said, teacher must move around in the class to see whether children are writing, whether they're making mistakes, correcting them. Using interesting and engaging questions. Next is addressing their issues very promptly. Integrating maths into other subjects. Keeping the subject more fun-based and interactive, incorporating technology, as it's already been said. And one of the most important thing is applying the maths lessons to day-to-day life and experiences. That is, I think these are the 14, 15 strategies which I make my teachers adopt as I go around to see their lessons, whether it's maths or English or Hindi or science or social studies. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Perfect, sir. Perfect, sir. Thank you.
So can I exit, sir, please? Because my meeting is at 5:30. It's already 5:40. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. We'll come up to Siva ma'am now. Ma'am, your views. How can we make maths more interesting?
Well, thank you, Dr. Thakur, for summing it up all on behalf, because you've already said so many points. But yes, because I have to speak, let me put this categorically. I think being a language teacher, I feel mathematics and language should go hand in hand. Especially mathematical language has to be taken care of. You know, that's where the analysis of problem solving especially will happen in a better way. So when children understand using mathematical language in day-to-day context, I think it will really help them well. And yes, we talk about multiple intelligences a lot, you know, but then why don't we actually make it happen in our classrooms? Why don't we make teaching mathematics through art, through story, through drama, through hands-on experiences more and more frequent in our classrooms, especially in our primary classrooms? Because if that happens in the primary classrooms, I'm sure it will definitely go on to the middle school and so on to the higher classroom. Because research proves that almost 37% of the students drop mathematics when it comes to higher studies, and also stay away from careers related to mathematics. So I think we as teachers, we have a great onus on our shoulders. We need to actually bring mathematics to life in our classrooms in a more creative way, in a more interdisciplinary way. And I think that would definitely help to make mathematics more interesting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Pramod sir will come up to you. Pramod sir, it has been seen that children learn mathematics instead of understanding it. What are your suggestions to the teachers, and how should they teach the children about mathematics?
Yeah. So again, the same thing. They should teach them with the real life examples, with logical consistencies. And even if some apps or technology has to be used, it should be used in such a manner that Nirmal sir very rightly said they understand that thing independently. No one is observing that. But in that also, it should be in such a manner that, let me cite one small example. Like one app is there. I don't want to tell the name of that app. On that app, one mathematical problem will come from that lesson which is already being taught in the school, and the child will solve that thing within a particular, and then the app will count within how many seconds the problem has been solved, and what is the level of accuracy. So if the level of accuracy is more and the timing also taken less, so the next question will come automatically, which is at a higher challenging level, and then again the child will solve, and it go up to that level when the child will commit the mistake. So when the child commits the mistake, the app enjoys that mistake and find out the cause of the mistake and give the another sum which again deals with the similar type of mistake. And till that time they keep on giving the sums till that mistake is rectified naturally by that child. If that sort of teaching, that is called logistic, or that is called, we can say, logically sequencing. So if that logical sequencing is maintained while using the technology or the app, otherwise people will become techno addict of using so many apps, and outcomes will be zero. So that logical sequencing, if it is available in the app as well as in the classroom teaching also, so I think mathematics will become live, full of joy, and people will take interest in that. That sequencing is must, which will bridge each and every gap and keep the child mathematically a step ahead. Thank you.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come to the Disha ma'am. Disha ma'am, you also found out so many flaws were there when you were studying mathematics. So you also tell us the ways that how the teachers should teach their children.
I'll thank you for the question. I'll give the most practical ground level answer. To start with, I'll divide my inputs in three parts: primary, middle, and secondary. And then I'll talk about the use of technology and the use of teacher. Okay, my time starts now. So primary level, it can be as much as you can bring in the play way, the fun, all kind of methods to understand the numbers and to understand the gimmick and game of numbers. You can bring in technology, you can use the teaching aids, whatever possible. You can have fun learning, you can have practical on ground, you can have that playing games in classroom, howsoever you want to bring in. That is the primary level. that talks about the connect to students to something called mathematics. Middle level, it talks about algebra and the ideology to start with concept building in mathematics. The middle level starts about that. If somebody doesn't have middle level concepts, so the secondary level cannot happen. The child cannot go. So in this partial use of technology, support system, motivational factors, and one-to-one problem solving, which as one of the speaker was mentioning, that teacher cannot stand in a corner and teach. Teacher cannot turn towards board and write. Teacher has to go around. Teacher has to motivate. Teacher has to find out the cause. There you can use your innovation, whether you want to use technology, you want to use the app, like Mr. Mahajan is just mentioning, such apps, they to accelerate and expedite the process. But ultimately, it has to be either self-testing through technology, self-support through technology, or backup support through teacher. Coming on to secondary level, here it is the idea building, the concept building, and now it comes the content building. 9th onwards is content building, where now you know the basics, you have to now progressively move towards basics, and there we don't need much of apps. I don't think practically we need much of apps over there. There you need understanding the concept and getting practicality, getting it practically on ground, solving as much as you can do, generating interest and motivational factors simultaneously. Please understand, motivation is very important factor at all levels as far as mathematics and of course other subjects are concerned. So secondary level, it is very important for hands-on and more and more and more practice. Like you become a surgeon, so more operations you do, more successful surgeon you are, and less painful your surgery would be if at all it is a open surgery. So that is the secondary level. Now coming on to summing up all these three, I'll take 10 seconds. Judicious use of technology, judicious use of empathy, and judicious use of hands-on practice with icing of motivation. Wherever mathematics is a subject, we tend to slip at every time. We can slip. The child can lose interest, and at any time there comes the empathetical attitude. I think there can be something we can define, attitude of being a mathematics teacher. So that will help students to learn mathematics. I know I have taken more time. Thank you so much. So you're mute.
Amazing, ma'am, and a wonderful way you have, summed up with that gist at how mathematics can be taken forward. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Radhakrishnan sir. Radhakrishnan sir, you know that after pandemic, the children have become more smarter. So we say the teachers have to be more smarter with the, the more use of technology. Please comment on this.
Yeah. First of all, we have to move away from I do, we do, and you do philosophy. That is the first important thing. And again, you are asking a question related to technology, use of technology. And especially when we are discussing about mathematics, personalized learning is very important. And how this personalized learning can be developed. You assess the child and use artificial intelligence to identify what is the need of each child and plan your lessons accordingly. That is what personalized learning. So once you are familiar to use technology, this can be, then you can develop suitable reinforcement things or reinforcement activities. And sometimes you won't get enough time in the classroom based on personalized learning to engage the children. So if you know the right technology, by using counting well like apps, you can send assignments home. Then children can practice it at home. And there comes the reflective learning too. When they use the technology, then there is a lot of reflection takes place. As Pramod Mahajan sir was telling, okay, first thing, right. Second thing went wrong. Again, the technology gives something else. So the child reflects, how can I make it right? That is what NEP is also saying. So teachers must be familiar with technology, and at the same breath, I want to tell you should be very choosy, should not go blindly. Use wherever needed, whenever needed. Don't go blindly. This is what my advice is. Thank you.
Amazing, sir. Neighbor sir, will come up to you. You have heard all the guests. Now your expert advice, and also why counting well? Why not other apps? That is a question for you also, sir.
Okay, I will not say why not other apps, but first of all, I think definitely what Radhakrishnan sir said. Totally agree with that. Judicious use of technology, right? Where it should be used and where it should not be used. That's very, very important. And also how much it should be used. So, for example, and this is something that we have very consciously done, that we have broken our content structure in such a way that we have micro learning modules. We have about 300 learning objectives for every class, every grade. So each learning objective takes about 5 to 7 minutes to finish. So what we want to do is let the children do about 3 to 4 learning objectives, spend about 20 minutes, and done for the day, instead of trying to spend too much time and trying to cram too much. One, they have too many other things to do. They are children. Let them do fun things as well. There are good things to do in life, except other than learning mathematics. So let them do that. But at the same time, let's give them enough learning where they feel confident, they've learned something, and they can move forward. So that is one side. The other side is bring that blended learning approach. Let the teachers use technology as a friend. Let the teachers use technology as a tool, right? Not to bring it just because everybody else is bringing it in the classroom. That's what happens. There is a race now. Everybody wants technology. We are technology enabled. Instead of that, find the right tool. Again, going back to what Mr. Radhakrishnan said, it's very important. Judicious use. Find the right technology, and then use that as your friend, right? Just like you carry everything else with you in the classroom, you carry a piece of chalk, you carry a marker, you carry technology with you, and that can become a very, very powerful tool for you. So that's where I will end it. And as far as why counting well, I think the other thing is what I feel is that, along with this whole micro learning approach and all that, there is also another aspect of mathematics which we don't touch so much, right? Which is that how you break up that whole problem solving approach. So for example, what we have done is we said that there is one layer of knowledge, calculation, number operations and all that. There is another whole layer, and you can link it with Bloom's taxonomy as well and say it's higher order thinking. But really what we have said is that there is a modeling layer where you have to be able to model a solution when you're trying to solve a problem. There is a comprehension layer where actually it is the language skills which are important. Now, are we actually trying to address that for the children, right? How do we bring that, combine that? So the kind of example what Pramod sir gave, where we do a kind of adaptive learning, we give a problem to the child, then we say, is the child able to solve it? Let's make it more difficult. What we do is, for example, we say that let's start at the very basic level. Do they have the knowledge? Yes. Are they able to calculate? Yes. Are they able to model a solution? If they are not able to model a solution, then obviously there is a problem somewhere. So let's fix that. Are they able to understand the question itself? It's a word problem. Can they understand the question? Let's try to fix that. And then again, come back. So let's create a cycle of learning, assessment, and let the child grow. So that's how we do it. And that's why counting well as far as mathematics is concerned. But, again, judicious use of technology, very important. Making technology your friend rather than just making it a fad is also very, very important. Thank you.
Absolutely, Nirmal said, running after technology is not the right thing. Choosing the right thing at right time and right place is more important. You need not to be better than others, but it should be a very friendly type of technology with the teachers. It is easy for the teachers and friendly with the students also. All the best to you, sir, Nirmal sir. Coming up to the last part of the show, which is, many people know, we need to sing. Every participant has to sing 2 lines. Radhakrishnan sir is already ready up with that. Janisha ma'am, you went away that time, you escaped that time because you were on the island, you lost the network and we were not able to hear you. Because Nayar ma'am is there at the for the very first time. So the privilege goes to Nayar ma'am first, Seema ma'am, that you have to sing 2 lines. Everybody has to sing, don't worry about that. And if it is a original one, it will be much better. A very favorite song of yours, any 2 lines. Now everybody says I'm not a good singer. There's no good singer over here. But we are starting up with Indian Idol show where only the managements and the principal will be there participating. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, I'm not, as usual, as everybody says, I'm not good in singing, but उठे सबके कदम देखो रम पम पम, अजी ऐसे गीत गाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम तारा रम पम पम, हंसो रे हंसाया करो। उठे सबके कदम देखो रम पम पम, अजी ऐसे गीत गाया करो, कभी खुशी कभी गम तारा रम पम पम, हंसो रे हंसाया करो। Thanks.
Amazing, ma'am. Amazing. You are
Very
also
good.
going into the semi-finale at least, ma'am, in Indian Idol. Now it's the turn of Dinisha, ma'am. The captain will take over the charge now.
I think the captain can take over the charge when everybody wants to go, so that it looks natural that everybody has to go now. Because let me tell you, till standard 5th, I was in a school where I was in all cultural programs, so I was used to dominating the stage. But there was some reason my dad moved to some different place. I had to change the school, and there they didn't take me. So I felt so upset. I was told that there is a letter box where you can drop letters. So first I found out I dropped letters. Then the principal someday opened this, and she found 5-6 letters from one student of class 6. Then I was called. What happened? I said I want to join the club. So they said, oh, music club. Probably initially in class they tested your voice and they rejected you. Probably that's why you're not there. I said no, I want to be there. So they called me there were few students also with me who were my friends. They all went for audition. 3 of them were selected. I was rejected again. I started dropping letters again that I want to be part of the music club and all that. So they said, now चलो इतने सारे लोग गाते हैं, एक चुप भी रहेगा तो चलेगा. Let her be part of the music club.
मैम देखिए, आप भारद्वाज सर सिर्फ आपको कुछ ना कुछ सुनते होंगे, तो आप उनको क्या सुनाती हैं when you met in the first time, which song you sung for her?
वो मत पूछो कि मैं उनको क्या सुनाती हूँ. That will be dangerous for everybody.
क्या सुनाती हूँ क्या सुनाती हूँ
ये मत पूछो. That will be dangerous. And वैसे वो सिंह साहब है, भारद्वाज मैं हूँ. So but ठीक है, आप कह रहे हो तो दो नहीं आधी लाइन सुन लेते हैं.
मैम दो लाइन.
रीजनल सॉन्ग में ये बेहतर होता है कि कोई कंपेयर नहीं करेगा कि कहाँ पर क्या गलत हुआ है. एंड ये सवाल क्या हुआ? राइट, 3, 2, 1. That song you will connect, Mr. Chandhok. You will like it. काला डोरिया कुंडे नल लड़े है, कि छोटा देवरा पापी नल लड़े है. काला डोरिया मैं आप चुड़ानिया, कि रुठिया देवरा मैं आप मनानिया. काला डोरिया कुंडे नल लड़े है. Thank you.
Very beautiful voice, yeah, ma'am. Let me talk to that principal who said you that you are not going to be there. मुझे मिलवाइए उस principal से.
Rejected 4 times, and after that I lost confidence. I was always shying away, never even singing 2 lines.
Ma'am, you need to win finale.
Really? I am in finale.
You are there in the finale.
I am already in finale. You made me sing, so I'm already in finale. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, ma'am. Pramod sir, you are a so beautiful singer. You can't reject that.
He's a singer. Indeed, he's a singer. I heard him singing. He has a wonderful melodious voice.
Okay, some 3-4 lines.
Not 3-4 lines, sir. You can sing a full song. You are a wonderful
song is not coming to my mind. संसार है एक नदिया, सुख दुख दो किनारे है, ना जाने कहाँ जाए हम बहते धारे हैं, हम बहते धारे हैं. है कौन जो यहाँ जिसने ना पाप किया उसने, बिन उलझे कांटों से है फूल चुने किसने, बेदाग नहीं कोई यहाँ दागी सारे हैं, हम बहते धारे हैं. संसार है एक नदिया, सुख दुख दो किनारे हैं, ना जाने कहाँ जाए, हम बहते धारे हैं, हम बहते धारे हैं. थैंक यू.
अमेजिंग सर, बहुत दर्द था आपके गाने में सर, बहुत दर्द था, बहुत बहुत मतलब मेलोडियस वॉइस सर. आप तो ले जाओगे सर, ट्रॉफी तो अभी लेके जाने वाले हो, सब रहते हैं सर. इंडियन आइडल. राधा कृष्णन सर, something regional will be very good sir, but it's your choice.
I will say one song. Okay, I won't sing. Yeah. So let me start by a talk of a song.
Yeah.
Manjal prasadam nettiyil chaati, manjakuri mundu chutti. Manjal prasadam nettiyil chaati, manjakuri mundu chutti. ഇന്നെന്റെ മുറ്റത്ത് പൊന്നോണപ്പൂവേ നീ വന്നു ചിരി തൂകി നിന്നു, വന്നു ചിരി തൂകി നിന്നു, ഓ വന്നു ചിരി തൂകി നിന്നു. മഞ്ഞൾ പ്രസാദവും നെറ്റിയിൽ ചാർത്തി, മഞ്ഞക്കുറി മുണ്ടും ചുറ്റി. Thank you so much for making me say one song. And
sir,
only
can you please explain, sir? Can you
only Seema might have been understood. Yeah, I can explain. It is.
Sir, thank you for bringing the poetry out through mathematics. Nagashatangal, Vinita, Vinita, and wonderful, sir. Thank you. You made my day.
Yeah, I love
sir,
this song very much. Yeah, it is just with a mundu in Kerala. Mundu we all wear, right? Yeah, this. And chandan, everyone wear chandan. So after putting the chandan in the forehead, and also this after wearing the mundu, you have come in front of me, and I love that really. And also in front of me, Ponnanapu, that means the flower that comes during the autumn season, that also you have brought over here. That's what the song is all about. It is a love song, a pure love song.
Right, sir. Amazing, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You made our day, sir. Everybody's day, sir. And afford promote, sir, also. Thank you so much, Pramod. Yeah. She didn't sing the original song, but you did that, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nirmal sir, Pramod sir, Seema ma'am,
What about Nirmal sir? What about Nirmal Shah sir? He should also sing.
Nirmal sir, Nirmal sir. Now the condition is, terms and conditions are that if you sing a song, then only you'll be able to enter into the schools.
You have been making me sing.
The only condition.
You've been making me sing for 8 episodes. I've run out of songs now.
Well, you can repeat something.
Yeah, I know. You guys, none of you have heard those songs, so maybe I can try. But anyway, 2 lines. Zindagi kaisi hai paheli haay, kabhi ye hasaye, kabhi ye rulaye. That's it. Thank you.
That's amazing, sir. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Nirmal sir.
Chandhok, you also must sing one song because I don't know.
I've been caught today.
If you want us in your next episode, please sing a song.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. You also must.
You are taking the revenge.
No, last time I was.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Radhakrishnan sir, anything for you, sir. Yeah. Although I'm not as good singer as Pramod sir is, but I'll sing for that. I don't remember the song, but I'll repeat the song.
Yeah.
नाम गुम जाएगा, चेहरा ये बदल जाएगा, मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है, घर याद रहे हो. Thank you so much.
Super.
Thank you, Nirmal sir, Pramod sir, Radhakrishnan sir, Seema ma'am, and Nisha ma'am for taking up your valuable time. And I hope you all enjoyed, learned, and had a good time over here. Hope to see you again. I hope now, Nirmal sir, everybody will be there now because I have sung 2 lines. In the next episode also, we'll come up with one more interesting topics and hope to meet you again. It's a pleasure when I meet you all people that you are taking up the name of the country outside India. We are very proud of you, all of you, and hope to see you again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.